Hello, and welcome back to another week. We're at week 3 of our short term. I hope you guys are cool. And without further ado, let's get into our module. So this video is really just going to be the logistics of this module. Things you need to know, things you need to do. So let's get into it. We start with our map here, which is our syllabus calendar. So we are at week 3. As you can see, we have the MLA practice worksheet, which we started from last week's module, and that's going to be due by Sunday the 8th. So be doing that. I look forward to reading those. Just try your hand at works cited pages and in-text citations and everything that we learned, and do your best and have fun. So what we have this week, look, we have our peer review workshop for our first paper, our entertainment as political paper. And so I'm going to talk in the other video about, the logistics of it and how to actually operate the Canvas tools and all that. So do stay tuned for that video. But what I will tell you in this video is that you're going to need to have a rough draft to turn in by Wednesday, the 4th, by 11:59 p.m. because you're going to turn that into the Canvas system, and then immediately 1 minute after, the Canvas system is going to give you 3 drafts from your classmates to look at, okay? And that's how that's going to work. And okay, I'll say this clearly. You will not get drafts unless you submit a draft yourself. That's how the Canvas system is set up. So submit a draft. Okay, and then the feedback, you'll leave the feedback by Sunday. So this is a week of entertainment as political peer review workshop. Because remember, when we see these beautifully crafted works, the writer did not just magically spawn a beautiful book or poem or article or essay. Nope. They went through a process, everything with outlines and workshopping and drafts, and that's the way it goes. Okay, so let's get into the module here. So last week we started our studies on textual analysis, and we learned about how to move from denotation to connotation, and that's what this whole paper is about. And what's going to help you, actually, this is a neat example, and actually, if you end up liking this, you can absolutely write your paper on this book. So here's what you're going to do. Number 1, get a sheet of paper and get a pen. And watch this video by Dr. Seuss. It's called The Sneetches. And just jot down things that stand out to you. Whether that is quotes from songs or phrases that the characters say, or what you see in the actual illustrations in terms of colors, in terms of shapes, in terms of plot points, what's happening, what's the conflict, who are the main characters, who are the, what's happening, and then obviously how is it resolved, write these things down. And then, just like we were doing with your chart, consider the connotations of those things. So the indirect suggestions, what could those potentially mean? Connections to real life. So how do you see this in real life too, or in society, or what could this be symbolizing? What could it be standing for? This is a really cool cartoon. There's a lot to unearth here. Dr. Seuss is really way more profound than we give credit to. After all, we were kids when we first read them, but now's a chance to revisit, and it's a cool thing. So, yeah, remember what we did with our textual analysis lecture when we moved to connotation to denotation. Here's just a little reminder of what we did there. Yeah, so you're taking notes of plot points, golden quotes, things that stand out to you. And remember, characters aren't just characters. Figures aren't just figures. They represent ideas. They represent values. So, what might certain characters in the Sneetches be representing, and values and what's glorified and what's vilified and how do you know? And, look at the resolution. What's the ultimate takeaway message of this text? Like, there was a reason why Dr. Seuss worked with an illustrator and made this story, right? So think of that. Like, what's the larger message? What's the larger theme? So here's what you're going to do. This is a discussion board assignment, and you're going to create a working thesis. Like, let's pretend that you were writing your paper on this, or a text for your textual analysis assignment. And remember, you're going to craft a thesis that is grounded upon connotation, right? So, create your thesis. So, I don't want to give it away like how I might do it for the Sneetches, but if I was doing it for, say, the Lorax, here's how I might do it. In this story entitled The Lorax by Dr. Seuss, the writer forwards a perspective of eco-criticism. Through this view, the ideal of industry is vilified by way of the antagonist, who's known as the Onceler. Conversely, the ideal of nature conservation is celebrated, as embodied by the story's protagonist known as the Lorax. With our current state of climate change, this message for the importance of nature conservation is just as significant today as it was back in 1971 when Dr. Seuss wrote this story. So let's pretend that's your working thesis. And I want to point something out to you. I'm going to open another Canvas page here, because I want you to look at something very crucial here. We're at 3 already. This is the main thing when crafting a thesis for this textual analysis. Here's a good potential model. What's the larger message or theme of your artifact? How does your artifact reflect this? So what? Why is this important message? Why does it matter? Are there any connections to real life, etc.? So you can use this as you're crafting your working thesis for what you get from the Sneetches here. Here's another thing. Because it's a discussion board, you need to also reply to at least one classmate's post to get full credit. And yeah, go forth and conquer there. As you can see, let's see, what else do we have? A peer review workshop. Stay tuned for the next video. I'm going to talk about how that's going to work and the logistics of it. And then the Emily practice worksheet, which is due the 8th, which is already next Sunday. Just submit it in here. As just a reminder, acceptable formats are .doc, .docx, and .pdf. All right, that's it for this video and its logistics. This will help you craft your thesis for this discussion board assignment. Other than that, catch you in the next video.